Before radar could see and sonar could hear, the war at sea was fought in silence until Britain taught the ocean how to explode. From the decks of Royal Navy escorts, ship-dropped depth charges became the first and most vital weapons in the unseen battle below. Mark V. The Mark V was the Royal Navy's early standard ship-dropped depth charge, built to attack unseen submarines directly below escorting vessels. Its simple, robust design reflected the urgent need for reliable anti-submarine weapons at the war's outset. In the opening years of WW2, it formed the backbone of convoy defense across the Atlantic. Mark VI. The Mark VI refined earlier concepts with improved stability and more predictable sinking behavior. Designed for greater tactical control, it allowed escorts to better pattern their attacks against diving U-boats. This marked a step toward more systematic anti-submarine warfare. Mark VII. The Mark VII became the most widely used British depth charge of the war. Balanced, versatile, and mass-produced, it defined Royal Navy anti-submarine operations from coastal waters to the mid-Atlantic. Its reliability made it a constant presence in convoy battles. Mark VII Heavy. The Mark VII Heavy increased explosive power to counter deeper diving submarines. Heavier and more destructive, it reflected the escalating underwater duel between escorts and U-boats. Its use signaled Britain's response to improving German submarine survivability. Now, the heavier charges built to strike deeper and harder. Mark X. The Mark X was a large, heavy depth charge intended for maximum underwater blast effect. Deployed against submarines operating at greater depths, it represented an effort to extend the lethal reach of surface escorts. Its size underscored the growing intensity of the anti-submarine campaign. Mark X Star. The Mark X Star was a modified evolution of the Mark X, improving handling and operational reliability. It addressed practical wartime lessons learned at sea, where speed and consistency mattered as much as raw power. This adaptation kept heavy depth charges relevant as the war progressed. The fight then moved into the air. Mark VII Airborne Adaptation. Adapted for aircraft use, this version of the Mark VII allowed patrol aircraft to attack submarines beyond the reach of ships. Dropped from low-flying aircraft, it brought sudden violence from above. This adaptation expanded the battlefield into the skies over the oceans. Mark VIII. The Mark VIII was purpose-built for aerial anti-submarine warfare. Lighter and optimized for air delivery, it enabled faster response against surfaced or diving submarines. Its introduction strengthened coastal and oceanic patrol effectiveness. Mark XI. The Mark XI represented continued refinement of airborne depth charge design. It emphasized safer aircraft carriage and more consistent water entry. These improvements increased the reliability of air attacks during critical convoy protection missions. Closer to shore, smaller weapons took their place. Mark XII. The Mark XII was designed for light craft and coastal operations. Compact and adaptable, it suited the confined waters where smaller vessels hunted submarines and midget threats. Its role highlighted the layered nature of Britain's maritime defense. Mark XIII. The Mark XIII further supported shallow water and small craft engagements. Built for flexibility rather than sheer power, it complemented larger charges used offshore. Together, they closed gaps in Britain's anti-submarine coverage. And behind every weapon, there was preparation, practice depth charges. Practice depth charges were non-lethal training tools used to prepare crews for real combat. They allowed realistic drills without explosive danger, building skill and coordination. This unseen training was essential to wartime effectiveness.